Carlos Nelson with Cascade Media Group, and tonight we have a special guest, Ms. Mary Dean, community activist and author. How you doing today, Mary?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Let's talk about your new book, Kansas Legends. Tell us a little bit about that and how you came about writing this.
It's called The Black Legends of Kansas, and I wanted to do something to honor Black women in the state of Kansas, based on what Oprah Winfrey did in 2012 when she did the Black Legends Ball. Me and several other women, we made a tape, a CD, a PowerPoint, and we sent it to Oprah Winfrey. But in 2013, but we never heard anything. The purpose of creating the CD was to have a fundraiser for the Kansas African American Museum, so they could build a new museum at a different location than where it is now. Well, I kind of got discouraged and I dropped the ball on that. And then I have a good friend named Gwendolyn Baines, who is a noted author herself and an advice columnist. And she said, Mary, you need to write a book instead of wasting your time on the legends. Write a book. And so I started some interviews with some of the legends that have since deceased. And I got a little discouraged on that. And so I put it down. But every time Gwendolyn would call me, she would say, Mary, what you doing? Have you did anything when it came to the book? You writing anything? What you doing? So the 10th year of Gwendolyn calling me, I said, you know what, Gwen, it's time for me to do it. Ain't no sense in procrastinating and whatever. I'm gonna get it done. So I contacted Christina Long, who used to be a reporter for the Wichita Eagle. She left her job and she became an entrepreneur of her own, created her own business called CML. And so she was willing to help me. She took the information that I had gathered. She said, we got to update. So she became my editor, to edit the book and all of that. And once it took a year to finish editing and doing the corrections and updating information. At first she thought it was going to be 6 months, but it took a year in order for her to finish that.
Who are some of the Black legends, female legends that are in this book? And how diverse are they?
Janet Thacker is one of the legends, who's a noted author here in Wichita and across the country. She's the best kept secret as far as I'm concerned in this country when it comes to art. So Janet Thacker. There is Danielle Johnson, who is a lady that was the vice president of Wichita State Diversity and Inclusion Department. She has since left that job, and now she is the CEO of Habitat for Humanity in Wichita. There is Marquita Atkins, who is an entrepreneur, and she has her own nonprofit organization called Camp Destination. And so what she does is take at-risk children, no matter who they are, what their different races and whatever, for them to become entrepreneurs themselves. Miss Gloria McAfee, who is since deceased, has passed. She's one of the legends in the book. She was a noted educator for USD 259. So those are some of the women, a few of the women that's in the book. It's over 100 women in the book.
Are they all out of Wichita? For the most part.
Most part, yes, they are. Yes.
How many pages? Because I didn't get a chance to get a copy. How many pages is the book?
I think it's 130 some pages, 138, something like that. Pages in the book.
And you talked about being a community activist.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, I started out walking the streets, passing out flyers, going door to door, because of the interest that I had in what was going on and that impacts the people here in Wichita, especially people of color. What they weren't getting, the information that they didn't get from the so-called elected officials, and how they were living, and how they took that nonchalant attitude about, well, it doesn't make a difference, no matter what I do, my vote, no, it don't count. So it bothered me. And when I was working at the Boeing company, the Boeing aircraft company, I didn't like the fact how they weren't promoting Blacks, didn't train Blacks for various positions, and didn't hire Blacks when it came to hiring practices and stuff. So I became an advocate there, and uh, uh, with other people in Boeing in different parts of the country, we filed a class action lawsuit against them in 1999.
How important do you see digital media companies like Cascade Media, and you see how you were able to get on? We primarily cater to our Black audience, telling our stories and our with our own narratives and our own voice. Do you see that as a valued asset that our community actually recognizes?
Absolutely. I'm telling you, I think everybody has a cell phone or some kind of tablet or whatever that they rely on from day to day.
But I'm saying, do you see them going to the Black networks, just like you're talking about the need to highlight these exceptional Black women and their achievements? Uh, do you feel that we understand it's important for us to support and to have Black media in all its forms, so that we can speak in our voice, so that we can even present stories like your Black legends, that uh, Black people go to a central location to get information? Say, oh, this is something hot. This is something that I didn't know about.
Absolutely. Again, it's very important. I listen to, uh, because I don't have cable, I listen to Sirius XM's Urban View every day. Every morning at 5 o'clock, I'm listening to Joe Madison up until
Black
Reverend
Eagle.
Allen. Yes, Karen Hunter, Marie Daniel Flavors, Clay Kane. That's where I get my news and information when it comes to issues impacting Black people. Even Roland Martin, very important. So yes, we need to have digital media and
Do
and
you
and
think Black people support uh, Black media with their dollars? Everybody says, from my perspective, oh, we love what you do and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to the financial and not just Black media, Black causes.
Well, I would say Black media because they need more support from Black people, because a lot of their support, based on what I hear from Sirius XM, they're getting it from government dollars and private donations for people that have money, And so I don't think the average Joe or the James, they really understand the importance of supporting the Black media with their dollars so they can get the kind of news and information that they so deserve, that would educate them, inform them, and empower them to do what they need to do for themselves.
Uh, Speaking of Wichita, and with Wichita being definitely Boeing and the, I would say, dominant position that the airline industry has in Wichita, uh, do you think that the Black community has shared in that prosperity?
Not really, because when I was at Boeing, they had a handful of Blacks who were directors uh, or over the directors of certain organizations, or supervisors, generals, or whatever you want to call it. That was the reason why we went into a lawsuit, class action, because no, Blacks didn't share in the prosperity that Boeing was having on only the people at the top. So they didn't care about the little people that was actually making it where they could prosper. They were only thinking about their pockets and not anybody else.
How do you see the Black community in general in Wichita from your perspective? Are they informed?
I think they are. You know, me and a friend of mine were talking last night. I have to give Wichita accolades for the simple reason that I went to a bigger state, Texas, several years ago, thinking that, you know, because I went down there to help my grandson get back and forth to college, that I was going to find a civil rights or some kind of organization that was doing community service, and I was going to be busy for the 3 weeks that I was down there. That wasn't so. And I came back to Wichita, giving this city some sure enough high fives and whatever, because we're doing a whole lot here compared to some of the largest cities, bigger than Wichita, Kansas. Yes, the people are informed here because there are a few of us is making sure that they are.
Do you have any closing words that you would like to talk or say to our audience?
I would like to say that, you know, please support me with the book, and try to educate yourself and become empowered and aware of the heroes and some legends that, you know, that your city has. You know, acknowledge them and honor them.
How important do you feel
Black...
that is?
Huh?
How important do you feel that is in acknowledging the Black people that are not at the top of the pyramid, as the workers? How important do you feel that is? And do you think we in the Black community acknowledge the people in that lane?
No, it's very important. It's very important to our children and future generations to know where they come from, who they came from, and what people did in order to pave a way to, you know, give them some of the freedoms that they have now. You know, everybody else cultures, they try to find out and research and who they are, where they came from, and they don't have any shame. Only Black people have been told that, you know, you don't need to know who you are. You know where you came from, slavery. No, we didn't come from slavery. That wasn't our beginning. And so people need to know their beginning, because we were kings and queens and mathematicians and scientists and everything that left the shores of Africa and came to the Americas. And they took our knowledge, they took our language because they were afraid of us. So yes, Black people, young and old, should know who they are and where they came from.
And that's the importance of having your own media and your own outlets to tell your story.
Right.
So how can people acquire a copy of your book?
Right now, I'm working with a printing company called Pod, and I just talked to the guy today. They're going to put up a web portal so people can order the book, and I will order books myself to sell myself. And so they can, when the portal comes up, I'll be advertising it, and I'll let people know that they can buy books also from me.
Make sure I get a signed copy.
Absolutely.
Even though I graduated out of the public schools in New York, and
that's all right. You've been in Kansas City for a while.
Yeah, but barely can spell cat. I would like to take a look at the book and really familiarize myself with some of the notable Black women that have made considerable contributions in the way of life up there in Wichita.
I will send you a signed copy Monday. Okay?
Yeah.
I sure will.
And as as I steal one of my interviewers' closings, Mr. Jim Watts, he always closes with, "It was a plum pleasing pleasure having you on the show." I'll be like, "Jim, get that stuff up out of here." But now I'll use my closing, and I think it's always appropriate. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Good night.
Absolutely.
This program is brought to you by Black Star.